So when I was doing the corn, I had mentioned canning the corn. I had mentioned that I would freeze it, and then I decided, no, I don't have freezer space because I've got oh, probably 30 turkeys to go into the freezer in December, November, December, and I had half a beef coming in October, and I don't have space for it. So instead of doing canning the what balance of corn that I have left, which is there in the bowl, I am going to dehydrate it. So in order to dehydrate it, you have to take it off the cob. So you cut it all off the cob, just like you do with the canning, and then you blanch it in boiling water for 1 minute. Then you take it out and you put it into ice cold water, and that stops the cooking process. And then you drain it and put it on your racks. So that's what this one's going to be about, is dehydrating the corn. Okay, my water's finally boiling. My pressure cooker is steady at 10 pounds pressure. It's got another 35, 40 minutes to go, and then it'll be off. Okay, so I'm going to put the corn into my boiling pot of water. I think I'll use something different. Put it in there because it's jumping back at me. Got a little bit too much water in here, so I'm going to take some of the water out. Now it looks like there's a lot of corn in that pot, and there is. There is 18 pints of corn in that pot. When that pot is dehydrated, it is going to fit in one of these little Atlas jars. It dehydrates up so small, I don't even know if you can see the kernel on here. Like, it is so small, it's the size of my baby fingernail. So it takes up a lot less space. And to use it, you bring your pot, you bring your water to a boil. You put, say you bring a cup of water to a boil, and then you dump in a quarter to half a cup of dehydrated corn. And then just let it sit there and simmer for 20 minutes, half an hour, and it should be completely rejuvenated. I did a stew for Mel out of everything that I dehydrated, because he was sort of squawking that, oh, what are we going to ever use it for? So I did a stew. I used dehydrated chicken, dehydrated mixed vegetables that you buy in the store in the bag that's frozen. I had dehydrated a couple bags of those. And I had dehydrated potatoes. So I put it all into a pot, when I had brought the water to a boil, I just let it simmer for an hour, and he had no idea that it was all dehydrated vegetables. So he sort of was okay with it. Like, it takes so much less space when you're able to dehydrate it. Okay, so this has been boiling for a minute. Blanching, I'm just going to take it off the stove and put it into my sink full of cold water.
I think you're talking about his biological defenseman. Biological what? It was an assault. What do you call this?
So you take it out of the pot. Sorry, I left you. I had to go turn the TV set off. And you drop it into the ice cold water. And the reason for doing that is it stops the cooking process. Now, if you have a big cheesecloth or a strainer or something, it would be much simpler than what I'm going to be doing, because I had to pick all this corn out of the sink, because I don't have that large of a strainer, and I don't have any cheesecloth on me, because I wasn't planning on dehydrating corn. So this, when you cook it for the minute, it's almost already cooked. Now I'm just going to start fishing the corn out of the sink and put it into the colanders here. Like, look how pretty it is. Looks pretty awesome. Now you're going to try and drain as much water out of this before you put it on the dehydrator racks. Because otherwise it's going to take longer to dehydrate. Now I have, my dehydrator is an Excalibur. If you watched a video earlier on when I was doing beef jerky and stuff, I said it was a Nesco. It's not a Nesco. It's a 9-tray Excalibur. And I really like it. It does what I need it to do with minimal fuss. I don't have to babysit it or anything. I set the temperature on it. And according to my book, I'll go out, check and see if it's dry yet. If it's not quite dry, I'll just leave it running until it actually is dry. it's not quite as bad as I thought it was going to be to get them out of there. Anyway, I'll bring you back when I got the rack set up. Now, if you watched my last video when I did the dehydrating or the hamburger, making hamburger jerky, I put it on parchment paper, and that was because of all the oil. This one here, I'm just going to put it straight onto the racks, and then I'll take the racks out. And because if I put down the parchment paper and then put the corn on top of it, the parchment paper is going to absorb the liquid and from the water that's left in it, and I don't really want it to do that. So you just put it sort of like one kernel thick on the racks. And with the Excalibur, it works way better if all the racks are in. So I'm going to do it little sparse, like not as heavy as I could do it. Just to make sure that I get something on all 9 racks. And I probably don't have enough to do 9 racks. But I'll just have to put the empty racks in anyway then. Just try and make it even, and just sort of try and make it one kernel deep. I'm not very successful at that one kernel deep thing. So I'll bring you back when I got the trays all ready. So in total I have 8 trays, well 7.5 out of 9 trays for corn to go into the dehydrator. So I'm going to take it out to the dehydrator now. The canner is done with the last load of 1-cup jars, and I now have the joy of cleaning up the mess. So hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Chat with you another time. Thanks. Bye.